Welcome back to the lesson. Let's continue. Now we will review PERT planning technique. Program Evaluation and Review Technique, PERT. It was developed by the U.S. Navy and the Lockheed Corporation. It was developed to build the first Polaris submarine program. The PERT method was developed to address persistent schedule and cost overruns on government projects. PERT uses the concept of probability in three areas of an activity's duration: best case, which is optimistic, most likely case, and worst case, which is the pessimistic. PERT's statistical approach is suited for research and development type projects. An example is developing a new drug and getting it to market. It is suited for projects or activities that have inherent risks involved in the execution of the work, when an activity's duration can increase or decrease substantially due to unknown repairs, safety hazards, or first-time execution. PERT uses a beta probability distribution, starting slide 94 over again. PERT planning technique. PERT uses a beta probability distribution to determine time. The original PERT formula before computers is listed here. BC equals best case, or the optimistic time. MLC equals most likely case. WC equals worst case, or the pessimistic time. In essence, the PERT method gives a 66.67% weighting to the most likely case, in effect creating a bell curve of expected time of completion. PERT weakness. Beta distribution may not reflect true range of duration distribution. PERT results were found to underestimate project completion, especially for projects with many subcritical paths. To help overcome PERT shortcomings, Monte Carlo simulation was integrated into PERT analysis. Regarding the Monte Carlo simulation, this technique was used to model probabilities and risks. For project and turnaround activities, it is used to model variations in the duration of the work. Forward and backward pass is carried out numerous times, hundreds or thousands of iterations, to understand the variability of activity and project durations. The use of Monte Carlo with PERT has benefited from computer applications. Objectives review. Now that we have completed Lesson 4, you should be able to describe the mechanics of job planning, identify the elements of a comprehensive job plan, state what level of detail is needed to successfully execute work, discuss why and how to estimate work at the task level, identify the three different types of resources used when developing a job plan. You should also be able to discuss the use of a resource library, identify proper crew size and task duration, develop a bill of material, describe helpful hints in job estimating skills and fundamentals, discuss the difference between planning and scheduling, and define the PERT planning scheduling technique and when to use it. Review questions. Review question number 1. The amount of time an activity can be delayed without delaying the turnaround completion date is called A. Negative float, B. Free float, C. Total float, D. Schedule float, E. Schedule contingency. If you answered C. Total float, you are correct. Review question number 2. The late start and late finish dates for a set of activities is determined when you perform A. An analysis of the critical path, B. A forward pass, C. A backward pass, D. Total float analysis, or E. Field walk of the job. If you answered C. A backward pass, you are correct. Review question number 3. True or false? It is not recommended to define relationships for any job plan activities until all scope items are approved. If you answered true, you are correct. Turnaround scheduling is a fairly new technique developed in the late 1970s. If you answered false, you are correct. The sequencing of job plan activities is a first step in defining the total turnaround schedule. If you answered true, you are correct. A Monte Carlo simulation involves taking the average duration for activities and projecting the turnaround end date. If you answered false, you are correct. This concludes Lesson 4, Job Planning and Scheduling. Now that you have completed Lesson 4, you should be able to describe the mechanics of job planning, identify the elements of a comprehensive job plan, state what level of detail is needed to successfully execute work, describe the how and why of estimating work at the activity level, identify the different types of resources used when developing a job plan, state the use of a resource library, determine proper crew size and task duration, develop a bill of material, describe some helpful hints in job estimating skills and fundamentals, describe the difference between planning and scheduling, and describe the PERT planning technique and when to use it.